Good morning, everyone. I'm going to give a very short presentation on information that the Jersey Electric PLC has sent us. Unfortunately, they didn't have anybody available to make the presentation themselves. So I'm just using the information they've sent us and some screenshots from their website to put some context on the size of the organisation and their view on things. So this is details of the energy production devices they have down at La Collette. And some details of the Queen's Road powerhouse operation. What they have at La Collette there is an emergency backup, which they fire up from time to time. And their information is that the electricity in Jersey is already 95% low carbon from France. That's the La Collette site. The chimney, quite a landmark, and then just to the right, that square building is the energy from waste plant, which I understand produces as much as 5% of the electric needed in the island. So they've developing some partnerships with solar arrays, and the first one was commissioned earlier this year. And they say it is enough power to nearly supply 650 homes. The amount of electric they provide is 610 million units a year. And there's some details there of the maximum and peak demand. Their forecast is generally to increase 25% on today's level, but they say it should stay quite stable as technology develops and efficiency improves. And that's some of the things they are identifying as new technologies. Details of the source of supply. Now, on costs, they have to produce a rate of return to their shareholders. They're listed on the London Stock Exchange, and understandably, they don't publish all their cost information because it'll be commercially sensitive. This shows the different tariffs they provide to different types of customers. And just to give you an idea of the normal domestic rate, it's just under 22 pence a kilowatt hour. So they say they're well invested, about 20% spare capacity on the network. And the reliability is very good. Some financial information, 135 million pounds turnover. That's quite a large business in terms of Jersey. Some of their assets listed there. And the 605 million is the number of electric units they sell. And the bottom left, minutes lost, only 10 minutes, which is very good. 53,726 customers. So on the size of their operation with the staff they employ, a total of 378 employees. That's a big employer. And this is some information they're saying about the different energy sources. Quite positive about nuclear from off-island. They have a big program upgrading the infrastructure. They have 100 kilometres of infrastructure cabling to renew, and they're planning to do that in the next 10 years. That's going to be a lot of road work disruption, and 20 new substations. They're saying that they have the energy price hedged and also materially hedged for 26 and 27. The government of Jersey is a large shareholder of the company. You could invest in the shares if you wished, but I haven't been able to find any information on how large the shareholding of the government is.
It's about 60%.
About 60%, thank you. The energy from waste plant is quite a big contributor to the supply of electric in the island. And it's a government plant that has a contract to supply to the Jersey electricity network. There's some information here about the Laurence barrage, hydropower, and offshore wind, the view there. Interestingly, they say local offshore wind cannot compete with the price of imported power. And they give some information about nuclear. And that's it.
Any questions for Mark? I mean, this is just public information, just to put some background.
Just a question on the wind farm. Maybe not for you, but maybe for the minister. Will Jersey actually get any energy from the wind farm, or is that all to be?
Well, that's the point I was making. Was that's yet to be decided.
Right.
It's quite possible, and in my personal opinion, you wouldn't land any of it in Jersey. You'd sell all of it elsewhere, because that's the moment, and I have a funny feeling it's going to be discussed later on, but the moment you land it in Jersey, you affect our supply with France, and you'd almost certainly send the price of energy much higher in Jersey as a result. But that's my analysis, personal. That's the government is undertaking its own analysis right now, and that will report in a few months' time, and that will tell us whether you want to land any in Jersey, all of it in Jersey, some of it in Jersey, or none of it in Jersey.
But is that a card to have up your sleeve when negotiating with the French about the price?
That's not the way it works. Absolutely not the way it works. So the company in France that takes the electricity from you is separate, is not EDF. EDF sell to us, but the company that buys from you is a completely separate company. And so it's not a card up your sleeve at all. EDF, I would argue that if EDF suddenly saw Jersey generating a lot of its own energy, what it will be doing is saying, hold it, you were a customer, now you're a competitor. So how are we going to factor that into the contract for what's left? So these are the reasons why, personally, I think it's unlikely that we'll land any of this energy in Jersey. But that's an uninformed view from my perspective, and this study we're doing at the moment will tell us whether I'm right in that or not.
Yeah.
We've got time scheduled for questions and more analysis on particular details.
Okay, thank you.